How's it going, guys? It's a final render here, and boy do we have another very special video of Fallout 4 building with mods for you guys to enjoy. Not only was this a really cool build that was really fun to do and really interesting, and we tried a lot of new stuff, but this was also the very first time we did building with mods live. We live streamed this entire build for you guys to watch, and I was able to take your guys' suggestions as to what went into the build. So make sure you keep an eye out for future live streams for when we do more builds just like this, because this one had an awful lot of input from the community as we were building it. So let's go build up Virgils' laboratory. Let's go! So welcome to Virgils' laboratory. You'll find this place as part of the main story campaign, and it is a very interesting location. This location is deep within the heart of the glowing sea, the areas where the bombs originally dropped in Boston. So it is absolutely caked in a thick layer of radiation, non-stop for presumably the next few thousand years. And this is where Virgil is hiding from the Institute. Virgil himself was an Institute scientist, but he ended up running away from the Institute. And here he hides in the glowing sea, trying to avoid Institute courses, and also trying to recreate his FEV reverser serum, the super mutant serum, which he has succumbed to. So let's actually give him a laboratory that will suit a scientist of his stature. So looking at this place, it is a cave, and it is a very cool location. I love the idea of having kind of a high-tech science lab inside a horrible cave like this, but we are going to almost kind of convert it into a bunker. So rather than be a cave, it is going to be almost kind of like a disused bunker. Because after all, Sentinel site is nearby. Maybe this was like an exterior part of Sentinel site, you know, maybe kind of a remote safety bunker for anyone who worked there. And keeping with that kind of theme, the idea of the military theme, we've got a very heavy reactor door. This will keep out any kind of radiation from the glowing sea, and people watching the live stream recommended I put bodies outside, almost as if people were trying to break in. Very cool, very reminiscent of Fallout 3, I love it. And here we go, looking with the place with all the floors and the door done. Just changing the floors really does change this place. We actually went ahead and used the floors from the Pridwin for the upper section, along with some of the stairs and railings, and some concrete on the lower section. And it gives you a kind of a nice mix of military industrialization and also just quick thrown together safety bunker. It's very cool indeed. And now we're going to use some kind of basic rusted metal walls. These are actually from the vaults, actually, rather interestingly. So we've got a bit of a mix of all the kind of different materials to make a truly unique looking place. And again, this kind of wall type was chosen by the community during the live stream. And we went ahead and kind of separated it by having the lower section, which is going to be our living accommodation, have a concrete filler, and everything on the upper part, which is the science lab, just be bare metal. Kind of gives it a different flavour for each of the sections. The lower section looks very different to the upper section. And not only that, but it also makes it a bit more interesting to the eye, you know what I'm saying? Kind of gives it kind of a military theme at the top and a homely feel at the bottom. Just to kind of break up the monotony of having the same wall type for everywhere. And now, of course, we're going to go ahead and remove the rocky parts on the roof. I do really like the look of the rocks, but it didn't really match. And I went ahead and put up some metal pylons, which were going to be originally the original cave parts. But I decided to replace them with the metal ones to kind of keep with the theme. But something we really tried to do with this build was to actually keep the same kind of flow to the room. So where those giant metal pylons are, there were originally rocky pylons. So the actual layout of the room feels almost identical. However, we do have a lot more space now, but it is for still kind of same rough shape, if you follow me. So now we're going to go ahead and start building the actual lab. People in the community demanded, and I had the idea as well, to go ahead and put one of these floating super mutants in there, which you can find in the Institute, along with all the little necessary bits of science tech in order to go ahead and kind of do dissections on not just super mutants, but also any radioactive life we can find. We like the idea of having kind of a super mutant body for him to dissect, but also have a huge section full of radioactive plant life. The idea being that he is studying everything radiation, not just super mutants. So therefore he has a section where he can kind of dissect super mutants and also dissect plant life. And of course, the really cool thing about this super mutant is that it's already kind of pre-dissected. This is the model you can originally find on the Pridwin. So we're able to kind of repurpose it to look like Virgil is going ahead and dissecting this super mutant. I don't really want to know what he's doing with a lot of the tools on here. There's things like blowtorches and stuff, and a huge kind of cart just full of bloody pulpy gore, but it looks fantastic, what can I say? And it really does give the place almost kind of like an evil mad scientist vibe. And keeping with that kind of mad scientist vibe, which me and the community really latched onto, we decided to put up some kind of experimental jars. And these jars have, again, stuff that is similar to radiation in there. We've got our death claws in there, which are actually perfect because they are giant mutated lizards. And we've also got bits of brain and stuff like that, you know, just horrible, gross stuff. But again, it kind of gives the idea of an evil scientist, which, whilst Virgil isn't evil, it does kind of fit the aesthetic of the place we're going for. It looks great. And here we go with the super mutant dissection area of the lab done. This place looks gorgeous. We've got some fantastic accents with the lighting, and some of the custom props we have made, i.e. these jars, look absolutely superb. You can't find these anywhere else because we made them ourselves in the creation kit, and they look glorious. And we've just got a really nice motif here, and we've got a really nice blend of lighting and very strange props to go and make one of the most unique places in Fallout 4, which we have created, me and the community. And now we're going to go ahead and build a little hydroponics lab. But this isn't to grow food, as I mentioned. This is to kind of preserve any kind of mutated plant life, because he needs to know how all mutation works, not just super mutants. So therefore we got a little sprinkler system here to go ahead and keep these plants alive. I don't know if he's putting kind of dirty water on them or if he's putting purified water on them. I guess that's up for you guys to really discover for yourself if you go ahead and visit here. And the idea is that he wants to keep these things alive for dissection and also for maybe making different kind of potions and radaway and stuff like that. So he's got a very general, kind of fully workable garden area back here, along with lots of kind of dirt decals and stuff like that to make it look like there's been a lot of dirt and grime in this section, because this is a dirty area where he's been going in and out of the front door, and he's also got plant life here. So lots of filth, lots of grime, lots of nastiness, but it really does work well. You know, it definitely has a kind of scientific motif to this area. There's nothing here which is kind of out of place. Everything has a purpose. We've got some of the Nernroot plants up there. Well, I say the experimental plants, which are totally not Nernroots. What can I say? But it looks really cool. We got lots of different species of radiated life form here for him to go ahead and study, along with some cool places to go ahead and log his data that he gets on all of the plant life and all of the stuff, of course, you need to maintain the plant life. Again, it's not for food. It is for study purposes only. We'll be worrying about his food sources later, but the idea of having this little hydroponics lab, I think, is really perfect for Virgil's character. And now, of course, we're going to go ahead and build a little office area for him. This is going to be very, very tiny. Very tiny, but we just had a tiny little bit of space, and I asked the community, what shall we do with this tiny bit of space here? And everyone kind of agreed, an office. We had a little microfilm projector here, so you can go ahead and study ancient records. And also a little desk. Nothing fancy about the desk really, it's just a regular old office desk. And we've also got some kind of little things to kind of suit his character, such as some scientific books and also some models. But this is where we really got to have some fun. There actually isn't any furniture that doesn't look like it's made out of chains and rust that is suitable for a super mutant. So when we needed a chair, we went ahead and got an old car tire and turned it into a chair. We modified the assets so that we could get an actual usable chair here. And it actually works. Not only can Virgil sit on it, but we as the player can also sit on it. Another unique 100% original idea right here. And of course, it is actually usable on PS4 as well, because we didn't actually add any new assets. We also went ahead and made up our own lore. People in the community went ahead and banded together and made these little stories, which we wrote into the terminal. So therefore, not only have we got a completely unique chair, but we've also got some completely unique backstory as well. That could be canon in a way, that is stored away on that terminal. So this little office area was a true community effort. Not only have we got some really unique furniture, which actually turns out really, really well. It looks a bit too big for a human, but for a super mutant it would be fine, and the terminal rocks as well. And another thing to take into account with the chair is that, yeah, sure, it's a car tire, it's probably not that comfortable, but if you're Virgil and you probably weigh like 600 or 700 pounds, a car tire might actually work. You know, the compression might make it comfortable. And now we are going down to the lower section. This part always annoys me with stoves in the Fallout 4 game. They've got these little pipes going out, but the pipes never go anywhere in people's builds, my own included. So we went ahead and actually made some custom pipe networks leading the contents of the stove out of the bunker. That way you don't get fumes filling up the entire bunker, because this is a very confined area. And of course, yes, there's horrible radiation outside, but it doesn't mean we also don't want smoke in here as well. That would be very bad. And we also decided to put lots of pipes on the ceiling and on the walls. This is just to break up the monotony of the boring walls. You know, something which I made very clear in the live stream is that you need to have every wall have something on it, otherwise it looks boring, whether it's a poster or some piping, just something that fits the aesthetic of your build that makes it look cool. And it turned out really well. And now we're just kind of finishing off the kitchen area here. We actually went ahead and put lots of little details and stuff in here which the player might actually never see unless they see this video, such as little piping leading from the sink to a kind of water can. You might never actually see that, but it's in there and it's a detail which helps world building. It's all about world building here. And here we went ahead and had a fridge put in there because we need some kind of food. We weren't really too sure what Super Mutant eats besides just raw meat, so we went ahead and just threw kind of everything in there. And of course we also needed a pet for Virgil, so we went ahead and put a mole rat in here, which we named after one of the viewers of the stream, Pat Rat. So therefore we actually have a Pat Rat mole rat inside as a pet for Virgil. And this is actually a non-hostile mole rat. This mole rat will never attack you unless you attack it, of course. And it is actually a really cool addition, you know. It will walk around and it will kind of stand on its back legs and stuff. It is a perfectly normal mole rat, but it's Virgil's pet mole rat. And it's a really nice idea. It kind of fits his character in a way. And now we're going to go ahead and put up some food and stuff here, including these Institute MREs, these meals ready to eat. And I didn't want to put too much stuff that was Institute based in here. Little things like tools and bits of food, but I didn't want to put furniture and stuff in here because he's run away from the Institute. He wouldn't have furniture, he wouldn't be able to carry it with him. But little things like bits of food and stuff, he could probably put in a backpack. And again, here you can see just lots of pipes and lots of just interesting things being put onto the walls to make it look interesting. Similar to that, we actually kept the tire bed. Not only does it work with the chair, but also the tire bed is actually already here and relies on a lot of important scripts, so therefore we decided not to touch that. And since Virgil is very paranoid of the Institute, we also put up some cool monitors here and linked up some CCTV cameras later so you can kind of keep tabs on what's going on all the way around the entire base. Really cool idea, and I think it works really well for his character. And of course, we needed a little toilet area, but you don't have any toilets big enough for Super Mutant, so we did the same thing. We got another car tire, put a bucket in the middle, and we turned it into a toilet. Again, perfectly unique bit of furniture here. Never been used before, fantastic idea, unique to this mod. Excellent stuff. And again, we've got some unimmersive toilet paper, unfortunately, because if we change that 3D model, that would be an external asset. But, of course, these chairs we have got are not external assets. We didn't actually add anything new, we just swapped things around. So therefore, the toilet and the office chair can be used on PlayStation 4, which is fantastic, I think. It's a really nice kind of victory for this mod in a way, that the unique objects are usable on PlayStation 4 as well. And then we go ahead and add some lights, add some more bits on the walls, again, you know, just to break up the monotony, give the place a little bit of life, a little bit of character, and make it look a bit unique. And here we go, with the downstairs section done, and the entire build done. This place looks really good, because I wanted to kind of have the same idea as what the original place was like. You know, nothing too pretty, no wood and things like that, or at least no fresh wood. And it works really well. The community who were watching during the live stream also said it was great, and I think some of their ideas which we put into here are really good. Even just little things like what types of food are in there, having a tent over the top of the bed because it just looked too boring otherwise, was an idea from the community, and it works really well. And again, there's even like a puddle of, you know, brown mush and stuff around this toilet which the player can sit on, but unfortunately I don't really want to delve into what that is, but it was an idea from the community, so we kept it. And of course the lab as well looks fantastic. The kind of contrast between the evil science lab, even though he's not an evil character, and the main apartment where he lives is really cool. And none of this stuff is too out of the way, really. Virgil's a big guy, he can probably drag back large bits of furniture, and he knows about teleportation technology as well, so therefore he could bring back some larger things from the Institute, but maybe not too much. But anyways guys, thank you very much for watching this episode of Fallout 4 Building with Mods. As I keep saying, this was part of a community effort. It wasn't just me building this time, it was me and the live streaming community. People were watching, having fun, making new friends, suggesting new things, learning about the creation kit, and guys, it was so much fun. Over the course of like a week or so, we built this entire place on live stream, and you can watch all of the live streams on YouTube currently. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you give it a like and a thumbs up. Remember to check out all the cool Patreon people in the description below, and remember, next time we do a live stream, check it out. It was great fun, really creative, really fun, and I loved it. Can't wait to do another one. But until then, see you around.